On Channel 2 News.
January 17th, 1994.
On a typical night, Los Angeles glistens. But tonight, great patches of LA without electricity sit in darkness after a disaster-filled day.
All of a sudden, our apartment started shaking.
The walls were cracking. There's no walls in our apartment any longer.
It just felt like about 100 elephants running through my bedroom.
I just can't believe we came out alive out of this.
Tonight, the disaster, the damage, the terror.
Oh my goodness.
The latest on the California earthquake.
This is ABC News Nightline. Reporting from Washington, Ted Koppel.
The noise is what unnerves some people the most. Describing the sound of the earthquake itself, people seem always to fall back on the old cliches. The roaring freight train coming right through your living room. But then there are the noises that follow in the wake of the earth ripping its crust apart. In the city, the quake is always followed by the howling of sirens, automobile alarms set off by the tremor, and the additional howling of dogs, and people screaming and babies crying, and the shattering of glass and chinaware and furniture tipping over. And when it happens, as it did last night in Los Angeles, at 4:30 in the morning, well before dawn, your world is pitched into a darkness blacker than anything you'd imagined, because all the lights in the streets around you, every light you'd taken for granted, even though your own bedroom lights are out, are all extinguished at precisely the same moment. Even if you're not trapped under a collapsed building, that can be a very frightening experience indeed. Tonight, in Los Angeles, there are the consequences of the quake itself and the fear of the aftershocks yet to come. Here's Nightline correspondent Dave Marish.
Ted, 27 people are now known to have died in the 16 hours or so since that earthquake struck. Many of them were killed instantly, crushed by falling roofs and ceilings and highway overpasses. The suddenness of these events has shocked this community, leaving many people tonight silent, stunned, passively waiting for tomorrow's light. The shock, though, does seem to have short-circuited some bad impulses, too. At least so far, there are few reports of looting or other malicious attempts to take advantage of the confusion caused by the most damaging earthquake to hit this area in more than 2 decades. At this hour in the greater Los Angeles area, the first concern is for more than 100 fires still burning, some of them out of control. Harried firefighters on the ground, sometimes aided by water-dropping helicopters in the sky, often just rush from fire to fire. Not far from this fire in Granada Hills, dozens of homeless refugees are camped out in the parking lot of the Granada Hills Hospital. These are people who've been treated for minor injuries and released. But released to where? To what? Questions about their uncertain futures they can only sit in borrowed lawn chairs and ponder tonight. The latest count shows more than 1,000 buildings, many of them residential, were damaged today. How many of them can and will be repaired is yet another difficult question for tomorrow. As this chaotic day was ending, we were able to take advantage of the last hour and a half of daylight to take a helicopter tour of some of the worst hit parts of the San Fernando Valley, where this temblor had its epicenter.
Flying into Southern California, as we did just hours ago, the first sure sign of crisis was what we didn't see. No traffic here in the capital of car culture. Down below us is Interstate 5, the Golden State Freeway, the major north-south artery in the state of California. Absolutely empty, dead, shut. And there, a perfect single image of tragedy averted. Look where that semi-driver was able to bring his tractor-trailer to a halt. He's got about a 4-foot cushion between himself and a 30-foot drop to disaster. That holiday bow of concrete ribbon is what California's famous for. This is the main interchange between I-14 below I-5 coming up. You can see it's collapsed. This same knot fell down 23 years ago during an earthquake. It was rebuilt specifically to withstand the shock of California's temblors. Its failure to do so this time will undoubtedly produce both recrimination and investigation in the days to come. It's a measure of how frightened people are as the aftershocks continue to rock across this area of the San Fernando Valley, how few have turned out to gawk at the damage. Almost everybody here is staying home and trying to save what they can. Not just highways through Southern California were damaged by this quake. Look down there at that rail line running through the middle of the San Fernando Valley. The rails were twisted. A train derailed from it at the height of the quake. Tank cars filled with toxic chemicals were among those derailed. The area had to be evacuated. The devastation of California's freeway system will undoubtedly inconvenience the most people. But by far, the most damage done in this quake was done down there at that apartment complex near the campus of California State University at Northridge. At least a dozen lives were lost in those buildings, which are used mostly by students as housing during the academic year. Many were caught in their beds asleep as last night's events unfolded. A search for victims was also pressed here at this enormous shopping mall in Northridge. Several major buildings were damaged, several parking garages utterly destroyed, pointing out the good fortune that this earthquake took place at 4:30 in the morning, when almost no one was out on the streets, and certainly no one was at the mall shopping.
Cameraman Larry Mitchell, who shot those pictures with me, told me of the wreckage of his own apartment in Studio City, which is on the other side of the Hollywood Hills from the San Fernando Valley. I can't imagine, he said, what I'm going to find when I get home. And then with a grim second thought that is very widely shared here in the Los Angeles area tonight, he added, yes, I can, picturing a floor of scattered books and shattered lamps and dishes. Ted?
Dave Marish, thanks very much. Joining us now live from Los Angeles City Hall is the new mayor of Los Angeles, Richard Riordan. Mr. Mayor, you've put in a dusk to dawn curfew. Is that because of anything that's happened or simply because you fear something might?
It's because we fear something might happen. It's strictly precautionary. We've told the police to use common sense because there are a lot of people who are afraid to go back in their houses and are camping out in parks and public buildings. But we want to stop the first bit of looting that might happen and, in effect, tell people if they try to loot or do anything like that, they're going to be caught right away.
Take us through some of the infrastructure problems that you're going to be facing over the next few days. I mean, they're really enormous, from the highways to the water to the electricity. What's the worst, and how long will it take to solve all of them?
Well, I met starting at 5:15 this morning down in the Emergency Operations Center with the heads of the various departments of the city. The first main things are water and power. It's the first time in the history of LA that all of the power went off in the city at one time. We've restored over 60% of the power, and we think we'll have probably over 90% of it by sometime tomorrow morning. There are some parts of the valley that may be without power for several days. And on water, we have somewhat the same problem. Our filtration systems were shut down, and so the secondary chloration of the water wasn't done in some parts of the valley. What I mean by that, the water was chlorinated when in the reservoirs, and it's usually chlorinated coming out, but we weren't able to do that because the filtration systems were down. We also suspect that some small part of the valley will be without chlorinated or secondarily chlorinated water for several days.
There's one aspect of my question that you haven't addressed yet, and that's the highway communications. You got a lot of highways down, a lot of overpasses down. That's probably going to cause a
that's the other
commuter
thing.
nightmare.
We've had a variety of meetings all day between our Department of Transportation, the police, the state Caltrans system, the County Metropolitan Transit Authority, to come up with creative ways to keep traffic flowing as well as possible tomorrow, such as making sure that tonight that alternative routes are clearly delineated to try to get businesses to stagger when they open, when they close, to also, in the case of Caltrans, to get them working right away, which they have in hiring architects, engineers, to restore the damaged structures.
This is your city now, and just from a human point of view, how do you think the folks have held up so far?
I'm very proud of the city. I'm very proud of the leadership of the city, the heads of the various departments of the city, from Chief Williams of the police department, Chief Manning of the fire department, and other heads have been working since dawn today. The citizens of this city have been cool. They've thought about their neighbors, and I'm really proud of our city, and I'm proud to be their mayor.
Well, Mayor Reardon, the best of luck to you and all the other officials who have this huge task ahead of them. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
When we come back, we'll be joined by one of the heroes of today's earthquake. But first, Chris Bury will take us through the day that Los Angeles will never forget.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you by MCI.
Quick & Rally is one of the largest discount brokerages in the United States. They have about 96 offices around the country.
The telephone's the lifeblood of our business because 95% of it is done over the phone.
The market moves at a moment's notice. You're talking about eighths and quarters of a point.
So a split second either way could cost both the client and Quick & Rally considerable money.
When we have a client that wants to place an order and they don't want to get a busy signal, if we're not there when they want to do business, they'll go elsewhere.
There's a lot riding on what MCI does. You're dealing with precious minutes. Using percentage allocation with our 800 service, we're able to divert calls during peak demand from branch to branch throughout their network. The customers are not disrupted by getting busy signals or long hold times.
With the Proof Positive program, we have seen people at MCI who know our business.
Something they've said time and time again. If you understand our business, if you understand what's going to help our customers, that makes our lives a lot easier. The account team that we bring forward, with the knowledge of the industry that we have, we can do it better than anyone else.
The American Agenda, now in its fourth year of finding solutions to problems that face us all. Watch Peter Jennings on ABC's World News Tonight, weeknights.
I had a lot going for me. Job, friends, all the cocaine that I wanted. After a while, all I wanted was cocaine. I had a problem. Bradford showed me what to do about it. They're a group of caring professionals that showed me how to live without cocaine. You know, you hear that cocaine is the big lie. That's true. Let me tell you another truth. We beat it.
Call Bradford Parkside, because it's never too late to begin to live again. 329-4266.
In the year 23,012 BC, Lenny, the traveling salesman, rented the first big round wheel from Thrifty at a nice small rate.
Nashville Thrifty has low winter rates on all types of wheels from Chrysler. Join Lenny today to reserve your Thrifty wheel for just a few skins.
Simply check your phone book for the Thrifty location nearest you. Renting wheels at low prices is nothing new to Thrifty. In fact, we invented it. Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
Los Angeles is hardly a city without experience in disasters. In just the past couple of years, they've had riots, fires, and droughts, which have plagued the county. But this earthquake was a special kind of terror. It was one which was felt by all of the residents of L.A. all at the same time at 4:30 this morning. Chris Bury starts there and takes us through their day.
We have word from Southern California that there's been an earthquake, a strong earthquake. We don't know the extent of damage yet, but some parts of Los Angeles have been blacked out.
The first sketchy reports on the morning shows could not anticipate the magnitude of a disaster that might have been much worse. At 4:31 this morning, California time, when the first violent shocks moved the earth from a point just north of Los Angeles, most people were home in bed.
It picked me up, threw me into the TV set, and then I was out for maybe 10, 15 seconds.
And the fire just came in the windows. And the front of the house started burning immediately.
It was bad. It was bad. We just got out with our clothes on our back. Evacuate the area.
The earthquake had set off a domino chain of related disasters.
What we're looking at, of course, is a large volume of water that is coming out just on the south side of this old Van Norman reservoir. And as we watch this water, it's going down into the residential area along the 405 towards the 118.
Now we have to deal first with earthquake, then fire and collapse, and now we have a flood on our hands.
Within the city of Los Angeles, we're experiencing widespread power outages. It seems that virtually all power throughout the city is out.
By early morning, even more problems became apparent. Freeway ramps had buckled and cleaved, though fortunately the roads themselves were deserted this holiday morning. By 8 o'clock, the first incomplete casualty counts were dribbling in.
We now have 2 fatalities confirmed, and I don't know details of either.
By now, it was clear the communities of Northridge and Sylmar, just north of L.A., had been hardest hit. Near Northridge, 64 cars of a freight train were tossed from the tracks like toys.
At one point, the tracks actually have sort of bobby-pinned. They've pinched together, and then they're wide again and pinched together. And when you imagine the kind of force that it takes to bend steel that way, it's very sobering.
By 9 o'clock this morning, at least 20 mild to moderate aftershocks had further jangled nerves. And by now, dozens of individual dramas were playing out. The most serious, the collapse of a 3-story apartment building in Northridge.
Just a huge blast. You know, I awakened to like a TV to my jaw, and I got thrown on a bed, and I'm along the first floor here, and I just can't explain. I'm just lucky to be alive.
We've been doing this now nonstop since the quake happened, and yet we have not been able to even grasp the magnitude of the amount of damage and the amount of suffering now that's happening here in Los Angeles.
The damage is now so widespread, both the mayor of Los Angeles and governor of California declared states of emergency. In Washington, where a winter storm delayed relief officials headed to Los Angeles, President Clinton interrupted a ceremony at the White House to promise federal help.
We intend to do everything we possibly can to help the people of Los Angeles and Southern California deal with the earthquake and its aftermath.
All day long, the casualty count kept climbing.
We do have an update on the death toll. It is now 12.
This hospital parking lot was filled with the walking wounded. They must wait while the seriously hurt are treated first. A call goes out for more doctors and nurses.
We don't have the capacity to take seriously ill patients. Other hospitals shouldn't evacuate their patients and bring them here.
10:15. In Northridge, another drama unfolds. Rescuers race the clock to free a maintenance man buried under a collapsed parking garage.
One of the employees who was driving a sweeper to clean the road surface of the parking structure was underneath when the quake hit. The thing just pancaked below 3 levels down, and he was trapped in the machine, and firemen have been working for some time trying to get him out.
Early afternoon, and worried L.A. residents are rushing to gas stations and grocery stores. This one giving away meat is swarmed. Reports of looting are heard throughout the day. Meanwhile, the news from Northridge, where that apartment building has collapsed, is grim.
It's looking worse by the minute here. The death toll now is up to 14 confirmed dead.
Personally, I haven't seen a building collapse like this. What's happened here is obviously the second and third floor has actually pancaked the first floor, and actually in some portions of the building brought it down to ground level.
A few miles away, the other mini-drama of the man trapped in a parking garage seems headed for a happier ending.
And he has been down there since 4:31 this morning. One of his co-workers said that after the quake, they heard him screaming from the position of being trapped.
Here they go.
There he is. He's up. He's on the gurney. A whole host of firefighters taking him around.
He was pinned down with a main beam of the structure over his legs. The whole front of the cab was completely crushed down on top of his legs.
The injured worker is airlifted to a local hospital.
A substantial aftershock to this morning's earthquake has just rumbled through Southern California.
All afternoon, the aftershocks kept coming, hundreds of them. Indeed, this aftershock, measuring 5.5 on the Richter scale, kicked up dust across the San Fernando Valley. By late today, earthquake victims throughout the valley were adding up their personal losses. Others set up camp for the night.
Everything is broken, there's structural damage, and we're sleeping outside till we can get a handle on it.
You can't move in there to face it. I mean, there's no place you can step without broken glass or the piano tipped over or the TV's tipped over. Just about everything's lost inside.
This evening, as dusk fell, the mayor of Los Angeles ordered a curfew.
No person shall be on public property, including public streets and sidewalks, or on any vacant private property during the period from sunset until sunrise of the next day.
Tonight, power had come back on in much of Los Angeles, though parts of the San Fernando Valley are still dark. Thousands have no electricity, heat, or telephones. Only some small comfort in the knowledge it could have been worse. This is Chris Bury for Nightline.
And now we're going to show you a live shot from our KABC camera in Los Angeles. Let's take a look at the parking lot or the parking area of Reseda High School, which has been turned into, as you can see, a massive evacuation center. I don't know if the camera will show you this, but not too far away, just about 100 yards beyond the camera there, are the high school's tennis courts. They, too, have been turned into part of the evacuation center. But here are just a few of the people who have been put out of their homes and who are spending the night in that parking lot. Natural disasters can bring out the worst and the best in humankind. Today's events were no different. Joining us now from our bureau in Los Angeles, Mike Kubasi. He was a resident of the now-collapsed Northridge Meadows apartment. He is one of the day's heroes, although I was just looking at some notes that a colleague of mine made, Mike, when he was talking to you before, and he said that you said you've been talking all day long because you're afraid to stop talking. Can you tell me what that's about?
Yeah, actually, this is the first time I've sat down since 4:30 this morning, and I'm really shaking, so please bear with me. I think if I just was to sit and calm, I'd probably lose it. So much has happened, and I've seen so much today. It's devastating. This is the first time I've sat down. So many things. The devastation was just horrifying. It was horrifying, and it's wonderful to see how, under the circumstances, how everyone just pulled through together.
Now, the reason I described you as a hero in the introduction is that you were responsible for pulling at least 8 people out of that apartment building that pancaked in on itself. You are one of the residents, were one of the residents of that apartment building. Why don't you just tell us what happened, I mean, when you woke up at 4:30 and what transpired right after that?
Well, at 4:30 this morning, the place just started shaking, and normally I wouldn't have thought nothing of it, just another earthquake in Southern California, but this was horrifying. The sound was like thunder, the shearing of the wood, and it just didn't stop. I cried out to God. I was terrified, and then it was dark, and I reached for my flashlight. I couldn't find it. There was no light, all the power, everything was off, and it was scary. I couldn't find anything. Finally, when the shaking stopped, I got some light and worked my way through my apartment and tried to open my front door, and I couldn't do it. I heard one of my neighbors, James, yell to me, "Are you okay?" I replied, "Yes, I was, but can you kick the door open? I'm stuck." He says, "You got to get out and help Norm, elderly man across from our apartment." I said, "Well, I can't get out." He says, "Well, just move your closet door." The wall sheared wide open. I did so, and sure enough, the wall was literally torn apart. I climbed through it by the water heater and through the nails, and that put me out on the 3rd floor hallway, and we proceeded then to get gentleman Norm out of his building on the 3rd floor with some ropes and an earthquake chain ladder. He was scared. He was terrified. We had to literally look in his eyes and yell at him, and he didn't have an option. We told him, "You have to get out." You know, you have to straddle the windowsill, and we put his feet in each step of the ladder on the way down. Once he was down, there was gas. We smelled gas from the gas barbecues. We were yelling at the people to turn the gas off, and then I proceeded to my neighbors, yelled into their complex, and I heard the woman's voice, Shannon. She was already in the courtyard, and I knew she was okay. I moved down the hall with some more pounded on a neighbor's door. They pounded back. I said, let's get you out. He said, we can't. Door's stuck. Ren got a hammer, busted down their door, pulled the two of them out. Acknowledged an older man, about 92. His name's Leo. We're going to get you out. Calm down. We're here. We'll be with you as soon as we can. Proceeded and climbed down from the 3rd floor down to the 2nd floor. Checked everybody there, and just continued pulling people out as we could. Me and James. It was frightening, but we couldn't show the people. We were scared. It was dark. We had to just yell at them and say, look, you haven't got an option. You have to come over the balcony. You have to crawl through the windowsill. At one point, to the landlord, I actually climbed halfway up the ladder. I said, look, I'm 200 pounds. This ladder isn't going anywhere. It's secure. Come down. She finally did, and we brought her down to safety with her husband. It was phenomenal. And then when the sunlight came out, we finally shuttled some of the elder people outside the complex, and that's when it really dawned on me that there was no more 1st floor. It was gone. The people who were living there, they never knew what hit them. And there's nothing we can do. The firemen, once the sun came out, we started to see some firemen, but basically in the courtyard that we had, the 2nd and 3rd floor was secure with everyone just coming together. It was devastating. It was shocking. And I went back into my apartment, and I just thank God that I'm here, because I could see the sky, my ceiling was blown apart, my floor, I was able to look down at the 2nd floor living room from, below me, and just the way that I got out of there surprises me. I thank God that I'm here to able to talk to you tonight.
Mike, take a deep breath and hang on. We're gonna come back to you. And let me warn our affiliates that we're going to go over tonight a little beyond our allotted time. For, among other reasons, the opportunity to listen to someone like Mike Cabessa, an extraordinary story. Tonight, we will listen when we come back to him to the rest of his story. We'll be back in a moment.
There never seems to be enough of it. And the last thing you can afford to do is run out of it. Time. So rest assured, Delta Airlines will help you make the most of it. With over 4,900 flights a day to over 300 cities around the world. And best of all, we'll make sure you arrive relaxed and refreshed with plenty of time to spare. Delta Airlines.
This comfortable with all your decisions. Acura. Some things are worth the price.
Next time, complete coverage of Monday morning's earthquake in Southern California.
Freeways down, fires burning, major damage in Southern California. We'll have details
on Good Morning America.
The YMCA is the place for the whole family to get in shape. When life gets you down, come to the Y. It's the place for aerobics. Build your mind, body, and spirit at the YMCA. It will change your life. The YMCA is the place for the whole family to get in shape. And we offer financial assistance. Call 259-YMCA for a free guest pass to the Y nearest you.
The rugged beauty of the Canadian Rockies provide the perfect backdrop for the next Day of Discovery. Join the Discovery Singers for a musical special that explores the peace we can experience when we learn what it means to be still. For the Discovery Singers and their special Be Still My Soul, join us for the next Day of Discovery.
Sunday mornings, 9 to 9:30.
So tell me about your new truck.
I'm looking forward to driving it home.
What are you doing in my truck? This is my truck.
This is my truck. I told you to come to Bell Ford anyway.
I told you to come to Bell Ford.
So whose truck is it?
It's my truck.
What are you going to tell your friends when they're shopping for a new truck?
I'm going to tell them to come to Bell Ford.
Bell Ford.
And why is that?
No hassle buying.
Then all you got to do is hassle with your wife about who's driving home.
Saved by the Bell. Bell Ford.
I asked Mike Kurbasi just to hang in for another question or two. There's one question in particular, Mike, that I wanted to ask you, and I ask it of you because not everyone would have done what you did. Not everyone would have risked their lives the way you did. Why did you?
I would hope that if I was in someone else's situation, someone would do it for me. I went back afterwards and looked in my apartment, and just the fact that I got out of there, thank God. God's grace got me out, and I didn't even think of it. They needed my help. Their faces, Leo's face on the 3rd floor by himself, a 2-year-old man, helpless. What are you going to say? I mean, people say the puppy dog look. This old man needed help. Norm needed help. There was Patricia, a neighbor friend of mine, she's 32. She needed help. What were they going to do? Someone had to do something, and fortunately, again, some of the guys in the complex, we were calm, and we just did what we had to do at the time we had to do it. And like I said, tonight, when I'm lying in bed, I'm going to lose it. I know it's hurting right now.
There's something, I mean, that was an apartment complex in which you had a lot of old people and a lot of young people, a lot of university students there,
yes,
too,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Why? Because it's inexpensive?
No, sir, it's right across the street from the University of Northridge, and it's a wonderful complex. It's a secure complex. It's clean. It's well-maintained. It's quiet. About 30% are senior citizens. I'd say about another 30% were students, and then the rest of us, we're just trying to make it. Wonderful complex. It's truly a loss from Northridge.
And you all seem to know each other. I mean,
yes, sir.
You refer to each of these people by name.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. By the pool in the summer, in the laundry room, helping each other during, carrying groceries in. Many times I know I've helped some of the ladies in there help carry their groceries, and just helping each other. Barbecuing downstairs during the summer, you'd see each other. Everybody knew everybody, and everyone watched out for everyone.
Well, you certainly more than watched out for people today, Mike. It's a pleasure to meet you and a privilege. And in behalf of all those people that you helped, let me say thank you. You're a good man.
Thank you, sir.
While the worst is probably over in terms of damage done by the earthquake, its impact is still being felt as many LA neighborhoods spend the night in darkness without power. ABC's Aaron Brown visits just such a neighborhood in his report.
It looked for all the world like a typical Southern California night. At the intersection of Hartsland and Zelsa in Van Nuys, neighbors were gathering on front lawns for a barbecue. But of course it wasn't a normal night. There was no electricity. There were rumors the water was about to be shut off. But all in all, things were okay. No one was hurt this morning. The damage overall was not great. The Burnett's carport collapsed, so did the Feldman's wall, and the crystal that Robert and Susie Holmes received as a wedding gift this spring was damaged. But the homes were okay, better tonight than this morning.
I absolutely thought I was going to die. I thought there was a chance. I mean, the whole house is moving. I mean, you can feel the house, wanting to go under.
I really thought it was the big one. I really did.
Tonight they sit with their neighbors, the Salisburys, comforting each other, knowing tonight will not be easy.
I'm scared. I don't like it without the electricity and the power. I don't like it being totally dark. I'm scared. Because once the candles go out and we're just laying here on the floor, it's dark. It's gonna be dark, and it's gonna roll in here, and we're all gonna be wondering if the roof's gonna cave in. But you don't want to leave your house. I mean, we were just married, and we just got all these nice things, and this is our first home that we've owned, and I don't want someone to come and destroy it even more or take anything that we have left.
And if it is hard for adults, it is harder for a child, and it has been very hard for Angela.
After
I screamed for a while. I got up and I stepped on something. My mirror had fallen over. And I tried opening the door, but the shelf had fallen and locked me in. So I couldn't get out of the garage. The power was off. And that was a power garage.
You were trapped?
Yeah.
Scared?
Yes.
What will you say to her tonight when she can't sleep?
I'll say trust in God, because He brought us through it, and He'll continue to take care of us. And if you have God to trust in, then we'll be okay, whatever happens.
What do you think will calm down first? The earth or you all?
I think the earth is going to have to calm down completely before the rest of us are calmed down.
Yeah.
With all the aftershocks, it kind of keeps you jumping a bit.
So it won't be an easy night tonight on this street or in this town. Aaron Brown for Nightline in Los Angeles.
And I'll be back in a moment.
Mice. For everyone you see, there may be 15 or 20 that you don't see, and they eat in many different places. A very unhealthy situation. But put Decon Mouseproof in the places mice feed, like behind the refrigerator, the cupboard, the washer, and you'll eliminate them faster. Decon Mouseproof gets mice right where they live.
Introducing new improved Lysol toilet bowl cleaner with a formula so powerful it's like having a brush in a bottle.
Oh, that's better! Is the coast clear? Yeah! Look out!
This kind of power makes cleaning your toilet easier than ever before. Improved Lysol toilet bowl cleaner. It's like having a brush in a bottle.
You used to have to drag a shampooer home to clean high traffic areas and do the whole carpet with all the hassle, the wetness, the waiting. Introducing Resolve High Traffic Carpet Cleaning Granules. Just shake on, brush in. Sponge-like granules absorb the dirt. Later, vacuum clean. New Resolve High Traffic Carpet Cleaner.
At Ford Motor Company, we're already building vehicles that meet California's strict emission standards for the late 90s. We're the first U.S. manufacturer to build a car with CFC-free air conditioning. And we'll soon have a fleet of electric vehicles on the road. For us, designing quality cars and trucks means keeping an eye on the big picture.
At Ford, we understand that the quality of the environment is one of our greatest responsibilities.
Ford Motor Company, quality is job one. It's working.
I had a lot going for me. Job, friends, all the cocaine that I wanted. After a while, all I wanted was cocaine. I had a problem. Bradford showed me what to do about it. They're a group of caring professionals that showed me how to live without cocaine. You know, you hear that cocaine is the big lie. That's true. Let me tell you another truth. We beat it.
Call Bradford Parkside, because it's never too late to begin to live again. 329-4266.
You're gonna be better than me, Christopher. I can see it in your eyes. No wasting your life on something you hate. Not for my son. You're going to college. I can see it in your eyes.
I can see it in your eyes. You are going to do something important.
Christopher, time for work.
We've always had the dreams. Now we have the means. Please, support the United Negro College Fund.
So as many of you now retire for the night, consider some of your fellow citizens out in California, out there in Los Angeles. Let's take a look at those pictures. The tennis courts of Rosito High School, and as the camera pulls back, you will see the parking lot of Rosito High School. As quite literally, you see it there off in the distance, quite literally scores, if not hundreds, of people are out there for the night because their homes have been destroyed by the earthquake today. It's been a bad day in Los Angeles, but the city is pulling together. ABC News will continue its coverage of the California earthquake starting later this morning with Good Morning America and continuing throughout the day, including, of course, on World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, who is reporting from Los Angeles. That's our report for tonight. I'm Ted Koppel in Washington. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
If you wish a printed transcript of Nightline, please send $5 to 1535 Grant Street, Denver, Colorado, 80203. If you wish a video cassette version of Nightline, the cost is $14.98, plus $3.95 shipping and handling.
Nightline is a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
Tuesday. Today is the first day of the rest of your life.
Yeah. Who knew it was going to be such a long, bad day?
Roseanne, then.
Penny is your personal secretary.
Luther's hot new job comes with a lot of fringe benefits.
Hello.
Hi, Penny. Tell him what you're wearing. It's an all-new coach Tuesday after Roseanne.
Billy, do you have the fast refunds this year?
We sure do, and it cost you less than last year. Hi, Billy King from the Income Tax Center. Do you want a fast refund at a razor-sharp cost to you? Do you want the finest in tax preparation and electronic filing? Then come and see us. We've been in the Nashville area since 1985. No one beats our service. No one beats our fast refunds, and we're going to continue to bring you the best because you deserve it. Hey, it's no secret. We want your business.
They say Cybertrim at General Nutrition Centers can tighten and tone a body. It does. They say Cybertrim supplements give you nutritional support, and its diet and exercise program can help your body be the best it can be.
It does.
They say Cybertrim can help you feel good about your body. They say it can even help you get the body you want. It can. Now get 33% more. Here's to your health, America, from GNC.
Join the Hometown News team
on Channel 2 News at 6.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say it's even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. 'Cause all I see